At a quaint little cafe, Jane and Michael catch up after not seeing each other for years.
Michael! It's been so long since we last met.
Indeed, Jane! The last time we spoke was before I went to Europe, right?
Yes. You went there for a photography project, didn't you? How was it?
It was incredible. I took thousands of photos. In fact, I've chosen a few to exhibit next month.
That sounds amazing. I've heard Europe is beautiful in spring. By the way, have you seen Emma lately?
I saw her a month ago. She told me she bought a new house by the beach. She said you came over to help her decorate.
Oh, yes. We spent days choosing the right decor. I gave her some vintage pieces I found at an antique store.
Emma always spoke highly of your taste. By the way, I brought you a little souvenir from my travels.
Oh, how thoughtful. I'll make sure I show it off to all our friends.
And before I forget, I thought about joining a photography class. Do you know anyone who teaches?
My friend Lisa taught a class last year. I'll send her details to you.
Thanks, Jane! I knew I could count on you. It's been great catching up.
Absolutely. Let's not let so much time pass before we meet again.
And with that, the two friends parted, promising to keep in touch more regularly. At a bustling city park, Sarah and Lucas bump into each other while jogging.
Lucas. I didn't expect to run into you here.
Hey, Sarah! It's been ages since we last saw each other. How have you been?
Good. I took up jogging after I quit my desk job. How about you? When did you begin running?
I began about a year ago. After I broke my leg skiing, my doctor said running would help me recover once it healed.
Oh, I heard about your accident. Glad to see you're doing better. By the way, did you ever get around to writing that book you spoke about?
Funny you should mention it. I wrote it during my recovery, and I sent it to a few publishers. They read it, and one of them chose to publish it.
That's fantastic. I always knew you had it in you. I'll definitely buy it once it's out.
Thanks for the support. Changing the subject a bit, have you met any of our old college friends recently?
I met Karen last week. She told me she had a baby and named him after her grandfather.
Time really flies. So many changes, huh? Well, I better continue my jog. But let's keep in touch and maybe go for a coffee soon.
Sounds like a plan. Don't let another year pass before we catch up again.
In a cozy bookshop, Natalie and Owen discover they're reaching for the same book.
Owen? Is that you? It's been years since we last spoke.
Natalie, I can't believe it. How have you been? The last time I saw you was at that art gallery.
Oh, that's right. I went there with some colleagues. Speaking of which, I quit my job at the ad agency and began working as a freelance artist.
That's wonderful. I knew you always wanted to follow your passion. By the way, I bought one of your paintings last year. It now hangs in my living room.
I'm so flattered. I gave several pieces to that gallery but had no idea you'd become one of my patrons. How did you find out it was my work?
My sister showed me an article about upcoming artists, and your name stood out. I then went to the gallery and immediately fell in love with your style.
That means a lot. On another note, I heard you wrote a novel. Is it in this bookstore?
It is. It took me years to finish, but I finally did it. It's surreal to think that something I wrote is on these shelves.
I'll buy it today. Always happy to support friends. We should meet more often. It seems both of us have sworn off losing touch but still managed to.
Agreed. Let's not let that happen again. How about coffee next week?
Sounds perfect. I'll bring my sketchbook. Maybe I can draw something for you.
At a serene lakeside, Amelia and Ron are setting up their fishing equipment.
Ron, When was the last time you went fishing? I can't believe I let you talk me into this.
It's been years, Amelia. I thought it'd be a relaxing way for us to catch up. Plus, I read that the fish bite well this time of year.
Well, the last fish I caught was when I froze my computer game, so this should be interesting.
Ha! Don't worry. If we don't catch anything, at least we spent a day out in nature. Anyway, have you heard from Jane? I sent her an email weeks ago but got no reply.
She told me she flew to Asia for a meditation retreat and chose to be offline. She'll probably write to you once she's back.
In a vibrant flower market, Beatrice and Simon are picking out flowers.
Simon, I've never seen you so interested in flowers before. What's the occasion?
My mother's birthday is next week. I thought I'd make her a special bouquet. She always said daisies were her favorite. You know a lot about flowers, right?
I did work at a florist's for a while. Daisies are lovely. If you mix them with roses, they look even better. Oh, speaking of birthdays, did you give Clara her gift?
I bought her a book, but I haven't given it to her yet. I forgot to at the last gathering.
At a buzzing coffee shop, Eliza and Harry chat over lattes.
Harry, have you drunk this new oat milk latte? It's delicious.
I have. I drank one yesterday. I'm trying to cut down on dairy. By the way, I met Adrian the other day. He said he saw you at a conference last month?
Oh, yes. We spoke briefly. I gave a presentation on sustainable energy. He came over afterward with some intriguing ideas.
In a bustling train station, Clara and Ben unexpectedly cross paths.
Ben! I haven't seen you since we graduated. How have you been?
Clara. Time truly flies. I've been well. I took a job in the city after I left college. How about you? I heard you went traveling?
I did. I flew to South America and spent a few months backpacking. It was an experience I won't forget. By the way, have you met Diana recently? I sent her a postcard, but she never replied.
She moved to a new place last year. Maybe she never got it. I'll give you her new address later.
In a vibrant gym, Naomi and Victor chat after a workout session.
Victor, you've become quite the fitness enthusiast. When did you begin?
I started about a year ago. I felt I needed a change. The first few days were hard, but then I grew fond of it. And, speaking of changes, I heard you quit your job.
Yes, I left my corporate job and began working for a nonprofit. It's been fulfilling. I taught children in underserved communities last summer.
That sounds amazing. I thought about volunteering too. Maybe you can show me the ropes?
At a serene beach during sunset, Elena and Max share a quiet moment.
Max, have you ever thought about how many sunsets we've seen together since we met?
I haven't counted, but every one of them felt special. I brought something for you. He hands her a small box.
Oh, this necklace. I saw it in a shop window last month and fell in love with it. How did you know?
I noticed you looking at it. And, well, I thought it would make a perfect gift.